Chancellor, for giving me a chance to share my views on this. So let me go to the second slide. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Dr. Ramamani, please share the next slide.
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Yeah, please. You keep me going, okay? Okay. So I just wanted to give you the presentation outline today, what I planned. I just wanted to give current education scenario, professional education, especially, or engineering education, and also education demand concept and collaborative architecture. So we designed some architecture for this, and we use technology for this. That's what we like to present in a nutshell. Okay, second is, of course, highlights of NEP and implementation strategy, which I think must have been covered earlier also by so many people. But let me give just outline. Beyond NEP, what we should do, what is expected from engineering professional education. That's what I think the concept is. Next slide, please. The fourth way of environmental change. See, we have moved from primitive society to agricultural society to industrial society to information society to ubiquitous society. So this is, I think, the kind of revolution which has been taken, the intelligent integration of physical space and cyberspace by ubiquitous technology. So this is what I think is a new way of thinking about computers in the world. One that takes into account the natural human environment. That's what Mark said in Palo Alto Research Center, the Rock Corporation. Hope to create a new world in which people interacted with us and with computers without thinking about them. That's what I think earlier about the fourth way of environmental change happened. Next slide. So I just wanted to give you the current India case study. It is current Indian education scenario is over-regulated and under-governed. So we have to improve the regulation part of it. So from over-regulation to regulated to under-governed to governed. So this is, I think, the kind of reforms we want to introduce. And let me give you some ideas on this. The not-profit nature of 40 billion formal IES has deterred from profit-private participation while instead to transform education into a process-driven model. Contains scalability in non-formal IES allocation, which is around about $10 to $20 billion. Investment rests on 4 C's. The players with credibility, I think management intent and ability. The capital, build to last. Build to change, build to last. Creativity, it should manage the over-regulated environment. Content, to differentiate and build annuity. I think this is exactly the kind of 4 investment results, 4 C's we are based on. It is IES, the largest, insufficiency is the highest. The largest capitalized space in India with 30 billion government spend, 3.7% of GDP, now to 5% it is coming at global average. A large network of 1 million schools and 18,000 educational institutions. Yet the public education system is insufficient and inefficient, leading education hungry and affluent Indians to spend 50 billion and more on private education. That is a 14% of CAGR over every financial year. So formal IES, with poor regulatory framework and low risk appetite have discouraged profit participation and attacked limited capital. Non-formal IES, non-regulated and fast-growing, fails to scalability test. It means barring a few pockets. So this, I think, the kind of report which said about IDFC report which said. Next slide, please. Sad state of our education is education, higher and tertiary education reduced to teaching classes against board and university exams. This is not the purpose of professional education is. No agility in syllabus. And students are programmed like artificial intelligence systems to answer questions. University education no longer learning centric. Students tutored for contrived university examinations. Aim at securing high pass percentage, not promoting learning and scholarship. Good teachers, well-intentioned institutions have little say. Teaching to prepare students for exams. Remove the teacher from engaging students in learning activities. Education not connected with development. Be there in the scientific or socio-economic scene. India's international mathematics Olympiad rank well every year. So I think this is what exactly we want to improve. Next slide, please. Next slide, ma'am. I think Professor Vijay Gupta from US has made some observations. The antiquated affiliation university setup, wherein the person designing the course is quite different from person teaching it, who again is not the one examining the students. I think this is exactly the problem we are facing here. The affiliation university setup has completely eroded the dignity of teacher. A teacher as an affiliated college today is one of the most pathetic figures imaginable. He does not have any control on what he teaches. He does not have any control on what the student learns, because what the student learns is controlled totally by what he is examined on. An external examination system suffocates any initiative of a teacher in improving the course of or his delivery. A very large portion of our engineering education establishment is driven now by purely short-sighted commercial considerations and almost complete absence of faculty, any passion for teaching. In fact, most have never seen what a good teacher can do to excite students. Today, teaching is seen as the last choice of professions by graduating students in every degree. Next slide, please. This is Professor Vijay Gupta's observation from MIT. Some perspective in higher technical education. Education is not about coaching students against board or university examination. Today, no agility in syllabus. Students programmed like artificial intelligence system to answer questions. Make education learning centric. Get out of cramming students to pass continued examinations. Promote learning and scholarship. Bring teachers to the center of education system. They and the system to engage students in learning activities. Designed to impart requisite understanding and skill sets. Equip learners to tackle related real-world problems and developments in the subject area. This is applied research. Link education with developments, be they in scientific or socio-economic sense. I think this is what is missing link, and we are trying to do that. Next slide, please. Our vision for higher technical management education is quality education to all, independent of geography. Is it possible? Enable, educate, and empower every citizen and community through knowledge. Most importantly, connect education to community empowerment and development, socio-economic as well as promoting values and scholarship. How do we ensure our system delivers quality education? We plan to use all available modes of learners engagements in the course to provide a holistic education in every subject. Next slide, please, ma'am. Virtual university. This concept of virtual university was taught. Students not able to get admission even if they pass at 80% in Delhi and other areas. So virtual university concept was taught by MHRD and they spent 100 crores to allocate the budget. But really it did not take enough because we have core competence in IIC, universities, IITs, NITs, and other institutions of international importance, international institutions. The central hub of all universities coordinate, organize, schedule, broadcast, manage, maintain infrastructure storage, and delivery through learning system and teleeducation. Remote classrooms, online teleeducation. The content development is a major issue. Identification of experts, content generation, content workflow, content development, delivery through e-learning, teleeducation, digital ability. We've been doing it for the last 15, 20 years. But still, I think we are not come to a stage where we can claim a quality content. BSAT for known access as broadband, fiber optics to current major cities, wireless for last mile. I think this is all happening now. A lot of developments in the 5G area. So our affiliated colleges, beneficiaries, study centers, learning centers, individual students, village panchayat knowledge centers. I think all these people are supposed to get knowledge through the kind of dissemination mechanism. Next slide. So what we are proposing is a need for educational grid. It's like a power grid. The bad deficiency of things are there. So need for education grid alliance is one of the things we have talked about. We are one of the youngest nations, and according to observers, India has the potential to create over 500 million trained people by 2022. I think past life, which is over a fourth of global workforce. The big opportunity for India would come from an education revolution that we must undertake as our most important national endeavor. This is what NEP 2020 was aimed at. The world of education is undergoing a rapid, quiet transformation. How do we, India, take the advantage of rapid advances in ICT and e-learning and synthesize a new framework for providing quality education to all independent of geography? I think this is our concept of new education grid alliance. Slide. Next slide, ma'am. Towards practicing e-learning. For over 20 years, we are talking about e-learning. Plenty of technology, laptops, notebooks, iCap, thumb drives, IPTV, iPods, iPhones, GPRs, 3G, 4G, 5G, broadband, satellite, virtualization, green IT, etc. Cap. Whole world of new internet services applications came up. Google and ever improving search engines, open source systems, LMS, scientific databases, open content, open access publishing, ebooks, all are in vogue now today. So these are the kind of resources we have. Google's slogan is, my other computer is a data center. So the idea was to share the resources and disseminate through any means of mechanism, increasing reach and affordability. How we go from connectivity and content to formal systems of technology assisted learning, teaching and evolution, healthy, quality assured instructions. I think this is the whole concept of education demand, how do you assure a quality. Next slide. Demand on education, what happened? Global perspective is 990 million adults at this decade, 66% women and girls to be educated, more than 100 million children to be given primary education, 2 billion individuals, adult population to be made literate at least to help them shape their adaptation to social and cultural changes. To meet annual demand of higher education growing at the rate of 8.3%, as seen from LCDs. Next slide. Education services, the need for other categories. So apart from 900 million illiterates, 450 million have to be upgraded in the literacy levels to cope up with the demand. Self-improvement for the disabled. In Asia, around 15 million people, more than 15 million people are there. Retraining of long-term unemployed. Women and girls half a humanity gender gap to be reduced. Out-of-work youth boys require vocational training. Educating refugees and immigrants and non-nationals. 25 million people live away from the country of origin in this country. Next slide. Empowering the billion, a thought from the starter. This Professor C.K. Pravas is giving India lectures. He was giving a presentation about India at 75, which is just we have come to. World's largest pool of trained manpower. World's leaders in industry and commerce. 30 are the Fortune 100 companies are in India. India accounts for 10% of the world trade. India is a source of global innovations. I think this is happening. People are seeing it now. New businesses, new forms of organization, new technologies. Focus on bottom of the pyramid. Source of innovations for the world. Leaders in health, education, energy, transportation, sustainable development for all. Flowering the art of literature, science. 10 Nobel Prizes from India. A new moral voice for people around the world. India is a country where the universality and inclusiveness is widely practiced. India becomes the most benchmark country for its capacity to accept and benefit from this diversity. This is what I think Professor C.K. Prahlad at India 75 Forum has shared the idea in CAA Forum in India. Next slide. So what is the kind of things, how the technology can enable? Innovations on ICS and enabler. Need for more professional teachers. This is one of the faculty development programs we have. And like that, we have to conduct more and more programs continuously. Reskilling and retraining the teachers for the new needs and new tools, new technologies for teaching and learning. Retention of teachers, I think very difficult to return a teacher. New education delivery system, multimodal. Interactive and integrated learning systems. Continuous improvement of communication and presentation skills. Change in evaluation and assessment. I think very, very important area where universities have to concentrate on how to evaluate, how to assess, how do you make innovative methodologies in this evaluation assessment system. It's a continuous assessment process we have to introduce. Keep the interest in learning. There's another interesting thing there. We have people lose interest in learning. Next slide. Let us understand what ICT can do about it. The role of technology is to bridge the gulf between availability of information and the ability to use it. This is what Indy Kissinger said. So we have people and systems to collect data, generate, organize information. We have people and systems that disseminate and communicate information. We have people and systems that create value using information. We have people and systems that manage the ICT. All above ICT model should be contextualized for quality education linked to development. This is, I think, the whole concept of education development linkage here. Next slide. Next slide, please. What we need: a new technology enabled robust framework, a strong and quality assured delivery system channel, a digital repository of quality certified learning resources, multimedia and multilingual, adaptable to pace and depth of learning capacity of learners, which is never addressed. The depth of learning of capacity of learners. Language translation, transliteration facility incorporated. I think slowly a lot of development is taking place in this area too. A good feedback response system with supported automated workflow and robust database system. Multimodal delivery system depends on local availability. Support to multi-type learning devices and environments. A continuous assessment system to assess the learner, not one single examination. A continuous availability of mentors and counselors on demand. Local content requirement to be addressed. That means 80%, 20% localized, 80% generalized. I think I have been a member of International Standardization Committee for curriculum, and we are not able to achieve totally. We thought that 80-20 will work, but maybe possibly we have to do 70-30 or whatever that is there, or 90-10. Upload capacity of local content developed by learners and teachers. A good assessment system of quality of the local content and constant revision of the syllabus, which never takes place, to address the local demand and global supply. I think because we have to compete globally along with the kind of content of curriculum what we demand and what kind of students we produce, they are employable globally. Next slide. Reaching the unreached and fear of unknown. I think I have been addressing many of the faculty development programs, and people have fear. Those people who are not used computers or technology, they fear they will be replaced by computers. So I think this is not true. Morning also in the inaugural address that was emphasized. Technology is an enabler. It is not a substitute for teachers, and we have to remove the fear of unknown. This is what I think among the faculty community we have. Interaction and delivery system can change. It is not one-way delivery of lectures, but it is integrated interaction between learners and teachers. As long as students are supposed to be learners, then we are interaction between them. Multimedia exposures makes teaching made easier. At the same time, it empowers the teachers and learners. Teachers and learners use the same medium of internet and web. Best course notes on any subject made available for knowledge enrichment. This is what MIT courseware, sharing of MIT open courseware happened. So this is what exactly I think the kind of things happening in the world. Next slide, please. So we have to address the objectives of education. What happened? First thing, to make our graduates employable. Because we produce graduates but not employable. They go for low type of environment, low skills. To be productive on the job and in life. To observe real world problems, abstract the issues, and apply what they have learned and their innate sense to solve them. I think unsolved problems to be solved by means of the education system. I think 3 dimensions of quality education. Quality instruction set in a community-driven learning framework. Professional competencies and maturity. Self-development, responsibility, and accountability. Foundations of concepts, contextual skills. I think this is a kind of triangle, 3 dimensions of quality education we have been trying to address. Next slide. Situation today. Learners. Let us talk about learners. Diverse group. Separated by space. Separated by time. Possesses different peer learning skills. New educational training needs are needed. Type of infrastructure for this. Flexible. Global in reach. Interactive infrastructure. And affordable cost. I think this is what the type of infrastructure we need for delivering the global technologies. Next slide, please. Curriculum. I think we have major issues on curriculum. We don't have standardized curriculum. NEP talks about sharing credits, but curriculums are different. The delivery is different. Examination systems are different. The sharing credits means universalization of education. Curriculum is very important. So curriculum has got 4 values. One is communication. Next is problem solving. Third is working together. That means group working, clusters. Fourth is self-learning. I think they have to always learn. Learning does not come once they pass the examination finish. They have to be continuously learned. Next, Curriculum reforms. Next slide, please. Curriculum reforms, the need for impact of social changes. I think the technology, the environment is changing quite fast. So we have to address the social changes. Rigorous, attractive, and enabling to retain students' interest in learning. Rigorous in its demands of intellectual skills challenges. Appropriate balance of subject skills and knowledge. Skills and team learning and value respect. Give added value and fitness of purpose. I think this is exactly the kind of thing talk about Gurukulam learning experiences what people had earlier. But now we have different institutions. We are learning with different environment. But how will you make this kind of value system, added value system and fitness of purpose? I think many major challenges we face. Next one. Next slide. Curricular exchange and standardization. I think what NEP did not address is standardization of curriculum to the extent that is shareable. Only credits are shareable, right? The marking system is shareable. So, collaborating education delivery system, removing self-serving interest, domination, superiority and control. Even though I am from one of the top institutions of IIC or IIT, but really self-serving interest to be removed, domination to be suppressed, superiority and control over the entire system has to be normalized. Cost reduction in course media preparation. I think this is very costly. We are trying to see how best cost reduction can happen in multimedia resources. Higher quality assurance and experts involvement. See, I've been serving in the curriculum development committees of many institutions and universities. But really problem is, how do you make that happen? How do you assure the quality of delivery? How do you assure quality of evaluation systems? That is not happening. Curriculum is being standardized. Distributor centralization, decentralization, subject expertise. Very, very important aspect of everything. In my opinion, if you are joining a engineering course, you join engineering course. Let us say the core credits or elective credits. We say that if you follow these many credits, this many subjects, you will pass, you will get a degree on this subject. Why you should make him mechanical, civil, electrical, or electronics, or AI, whatever that is there? Let him join as an engineering student. Let him develop. Let him join as art student. Let him join as science student. Let him develop his own interest. This is, I think, the kind of thing what we are talking about, which is very difficult to implement here in this country. Integrated open course guide. Discussion forums, calendar, email, mobile. I think it's all we implemented in IGNO also for long delivery system, partly by the university, part by managed service providers. I think this has been happening now in India, but it's not in the same scale what we demanded. Next slide. So, maturity rating of courses and education on demand. So, maturity rating is based upon effectiveness of IOCG in conducting the course. So, 1-star rating, describes blocks, units, links to be approved resources. 2-star rating consists of counseling plan, calendar of course events, seminars, TV webinars, self-test monitoring. The 3-star courses assure evaluation, assures engagement in at least 70% of modules, plus concept map, plus active learning support and learner feedback. 4 stars means assured outcome, assessed engagement in at least 70% of modules, individually or group feedback. 5 stars and 3-star book will be competitive within the global job market. Next slide. Need for national educational grid. I think educational grid gateway services access systems. I think this is a major thing which has to happen in India, which we have been proposing for the last few years, but still is in the infant way. So this is like a data center type data centers. So tier 1 is ICT infrastructure, Railtel, Telcos, STPA, NK, all are giving network services. Tier 2, systems application over clouds and internet. Tier 3, content web resources, integrated NPTEL, etc. That means academic resources. Tier 4 is content alignment and capacity building. That is alignment of the universal curriculum systems. Type 5 is instruction, practice, evaluation management of college and study centers. Experts and mentors will do it. Academic management will done. So each of the 5 layers require different ownership and MSP. I think this is what we are trying to propose. The National Education Gateway Systems, delivery systems. Next one. So establishing the education grid, Tier 1, Tier 2 infrastructure system application, we talked about that above. Need for data centers. Thousands of virtual cloud applications running over network data centers. For now, NK in India is providing the national GPPS VPS. but even other providers are now ready to provide now. The ongoing efforts of NPTEL and more needed, more in advanced web resources, scientific databases, HPC, high performance computing, 3D and virtual reality environment, contents on this, simulated labs and environments, so on. Lot more on local content generation in different regions and different languages are needed. Therefore, critical layer to associate content with learning activities using a formal EOD framework driven by CEGs duly appointed by respective universities and duly approved by its academic councils and equivalent. Quality of education is assured through this layer of Type 4. Tier 5 is managed in affiliate colleges and study centers. If you are remote, if you are not concentrated only in the one geographical area, you are going to the multi-states and multi-thing, then this is going to be effective. Next slide. Next slide, please. So, what is the talking about infrastructure for the education grid? Core network, national gigabytes VPNs over OFT networks. So, we have the region networks, we have data center gateways, we have national programs, we integrate to open learning networks, we have SSC, RMSC success programs of Government of India, we have ERNET as MSP, we have advanced computing resources, we have university centers, we have premier institutes like IIT, NIT, and other technologically better universities, ICAR, DOF, CSAR, etc., scientific databases, R&D organizations, defense and CSAR others, regional centers for education innovation practices. Maybe we have to create that one. So the integrated regional education institutions, regional broadband access network promoted by under and the national multimedia education policy. Next one. Next slide, please. Regional broadband access networks. I think this is urban and NME is going to be already visualized to some extent, but it's still in the infant way of implementation. I think this is exactly what we are trying to see, how the kind of things has been, kind of distributed systems can work on this kind of area. Each college study center has to be asymmetric broadband. There are portals in the cloud facility at the RCCA. Results in lower cost per leaf node with assured quality of services. I think this is exactly the kind of thing where assured quality of delivery centers are established. Next slide, please. Next slide. So establish can you go to the previous slide? Previous slide, please. So I think establish regional centers for educational innovation and practices. I think very important area where we have to work with state governments, we have to work with the other established institutions to work on this kind of concept, which is going to be working on regional centers for education innovations and practices. Is really under a PPP model. It is not private-public participation, public-private participation. It is private-public participation. So it's a very different kind of concept which we are trying to introduce here. Next one. Next slide. So towards a PPP model, next slide. Previous slide, go. Previous slide. Previous slide. Previous. Next. Previous slide. Towards a PPP model for education and services. All universities and formal education programs to have their own space in the cloud of network data centers. Data centers may be owned and managed by private players. All agree on an Indian profile of standardized systems and applications. And integrated currently using a few instances of Solaris or Linux or virtual containers over enterprise class servers, virtual storage system for each. Top this with MySQL, Drupal, CMS, and Apache for hosting the web applications. Applications are typically Wiki, Moodle, a digital library suite, mobile gateways, video streaming databases, etc. Care taken to ensure that applications are W3C compliant or W43 compliant and access through different browsers on a common OS. An incubator for promoting educational services. I think very important areas where the public-private participation is a private-public participation model. Educational services have been proposed. Next one. Next slide, please. Next slide. Previous slide. Previous slide. Turning updating university system to advantage. I think updating university system is not a bad idea. But each updating university adopts EOD framework and builds its own open course guides for each course. Colleges conduct course as per the OCG. Each of them may use their own LMS and other tools. We are not standardizing on that. Teachers in different colleges of the same university collaborate with the CEG to LMS maintained in the university Both CEG and teachers are also guided by OCGs. Inexperienced teachers may choose or encouraged to undergo certificate of proficiency, like what NPT has done. Certificate of proficiency program conducted by AU. The certified teachers in a subject carry out evaluation of their own class in that subject and act as a feedback to students. Such systems generate large pool of good teachers over time. OCG also promotes varieties of students' engagements in learning activities. Next slide. Next slide, please. From NPTEL to VAIT to Vista. So the popularity of NPTEL video lectures hosted on YouTube for the last 6 months it cost more than 3 million visits now. It's updated to be updated. Open comments on the YouTube show many students around the world are grateful for this IIT's initiative. For each NPTEL video course, we will create a IOCG by formally established groups under virtual IIT or virtual Institute of Science and Technology and Arts, VISTA. Such IOCG may also enrich the course through rich supplementary links to MIT OCA Open Courseware, various other university sites. MHRD has given some UC grant to IIT Kanpur to use this concept of VIT to a shake, but never take him up because of Western influence of some people. With IITs, NITs, IIC, and integrated establishing small data centers, we are ready for the pilot launch by 2013 plus. That's what I think planned. But now 2023 crossed, we are not able to establish this. Next one. The great opportunity. Imagine the scope. For a revenue base, let us say we charge rupees 100 per month or rupees 500 for a whole semester for long course for assured technology-enabled learning services, 8 courses per year, 2.5 million engineering students. The pool comes to really 10 billion crores per year. The scope is much more. A whole new world of open education with India, leading the way while solving this present intractable problems. IOCG-driven EOD framework assures all students have quality learning-centric education. EOD gives system of formal education the technology-enabled age. It may also liberate learners by allowing to take courses from different universities. This is what NEP suggested. Next slide. Change in accreditation and regulatory systems. I think we have been promoting that. We have been formulating certain things. Still, I think we have to decide a major policy change in accreditation of institutions. The 5-star course maturity rating over the EOD framework makes it accreditation over the natural way. This will help giving new enabling roles to the regulatory bodies and accreditation agencies. This may set the terms of proposed National Commission for Higher Education and Research. With IOCG and supporting public wiki in each course, curriculum modernization is readily integrated as a continuous process. Let us start the 3-way consultation between academia, industry, and government and thrash out the modalities of building EOD system in the country. Next slide. So it is time we get out of the present weak system of education that is reduced to it, covering the syllabus and conducting mass examinations. As per our Indian tradition, our true man-making education is built upon the 3 processes: Sarvana, Manana, and Vidyasana. The EOD framework set over the national education grid is a practical way to support quality education through technology-enabled learning. It is time to give learners a greater options than what is offered by university or college to open access to courses from others. The end of education is a character. That's what Sai Baba said. Next slide. This, what is expected from the next slide, previous slide, please. Previous slide. What is expected from national and international professional society? What the IEEE, IIT or anything can do to work for the global national standards in every sector of educational research and sustainable development, to evolve, propagate good practices, to achieve better productivity, efficiency, and efficacy, to provide empowerment to citizens and create a framework program to achieve the Millennium Development Goals, to achieve Six Sigma using a new and emerging technologies to make every citizen a knowledge worker. Next slide. Joint contribution of national knowledge digital warehouse. I think this is what we have to create. Mutually agreeable quality norms for digital multimedia contents and evaluation assessment. Joint ownership of shareable courseware to cover quality education for all. To establish a Rebel National Open Knowledge University. What is expected by partnering education institutions, university, national, global? Next one. Next slide. So previous slide, please. Learner-centered, flexible, technology-driven system needs the alliances. Cost-sharing economy. Learning resources development, establishment of learner support, infrastructure of post-delivery. I think this is the kind of cost-sharing we can do. Changing enrollment patterns. Flexible and modular learning to fulfill learner demands. It's not a 3-year course or 4-year course. It's a flexible course. Cost-sharing courses. Cost and risk reduction and funding pattern change. Curricular demands. Variety of academic talents for short period of time. Sharing staff resources. I think very, very important area of experts to come in and go. Next slide. Need of the hour is mix of all three functions. Facilitating a learning environment. Support to learners as a broker. Coordinating the processes and development of materials. I think this is what exactly we are trying to see how best we can do mix of all three functions. Next one. Global successful alliances. You can just see successful experiments have been done in partnership alliances, the National Technology University, NTU, USA. Acts as a bridge between the learners and participating institutions. There is faculty. One-way transmission of lectures, synchronized and asynchronous mode, with two or multiple ways of teacher-learner, learner-learner, computer-based communication. Enables movement of credits and also award credits. So this is, I think, one kind of successful experimental partnership. Next one is Open Learning Australia, OLA. Act as an educational broker with multiplicity of functions to bring courses of Australian territory institutions. Does not have credit or credential granting authority. So it doesn't give credit. It's done by the national agency. Next one is Open Learning Foundation of UK. That is OLF. The Federation of British Universities. Designs curriculum and develop learning materials for distribution of off-campus students. Does not support the learning environment. Does not assess or award credits. Facilitates staff development activities. This is what I think Open Learning Foundation of UK does. So what we need, these are successful alliances in the global area. We have just listed. Next area. Current collaborations. So relation to the institutions which own the curriculum and credits as non-interventionist of the curricula. Assessment areas. Passive in academic decision making. Active in business orientation. Confined to national jurisdiction. Partnership transcending national boundaries should not simply fall into a business. This is what happened to Malaysian venture of Australian Canadian British universities there. So we don't want to make the same mistake and get into a trap. Next one. 21st century learning systems will witness more private participation. Complementarity. A partnership based on mutual respect, trust, and benefit. Mission clarity and articulation. Clear sense of direction in fulfilling mission. Institutional commitment. Ownership of entire community. Government and community support. Total support to delivery of educational products and services. Organization structure. To support partnership activities with faith, trust, and belief in educational delivery and support the learning environment. Leadership. To have a vision of global development and to meet the international community needs. I think this is what the 21st century learning system to demand. Next one. What is the partnership to be driven? Student volume and economics. Learner choice and autonomies. Mobility of jobs and people of explosion of knowledge and technology. Interdependency and universalization of strategy for survival for all. Cannot be about territorial preservation. That means global, it is global, not local. Next one. The professional pyramid, we just see there's a brick and mortar layer, there's a value-added layer, there's a solution layer, there's a vision layer. The same thing, basic concepts and skills, domain expertise, conceptualizers and designers, technology is enabler, and dreams and planners. I think this is the kind of professional pyramid we are trying to build. Next one. To make learning and knowledge a social, previous slide, please. To make learning and knowledge a social and economic activity. Acquisition of knowledge is a lifelong activity. Technology a solution to demand for learning and create new possibilities to make it happen. So what happened is demand of diverse learners, diversity of goals, diversity of context, demand for higher education, renewal of employer skills in service sector. I think upgrading skills every time. Delivering education demand supply perspective, the demand supply perspective of education delivery systems. Reskilling and retraining employees arising due to economic structural changes, creating new social demand. This is happening everywhere. So reskilling is kind of need we need. So reskilling, de-skilling, and reskilling. Very, very important areas which has been concentrated now. Next one. Next slide, please. So just see the challenge of immersing learners in quality learning environment. At the end of learning effort, a learner should be able to say, I understand, and add to his tacit capabilities from non-tacit to tacit capabilities. So people's competences, communication, feelings. There is tacit. Explicit certified codified knowledge process accessible on head and paper. Global network information computational base. I think this is what tacit to implicit. We are trying to see how to integrate these kind of things in the whole system of education. Next one. So education technology and information services, ETAS. There's a new service area we are trying to propose. Maybe it will happen shortly. Next one. Joint contribution to national knowledge digital warehouse. That means any courseware which is being accredited or evaluated, acceptable, should be available to digital warehouse. Mutually agreeable quality norms for digital multimedia contents and evaluation assessment. Joint ownership of shareable courseware to cover quality education for all. To establish a referral national open knowledge university. What is expected by partnering education institutions, university, national, globally is this is the kind of benefit we are going to get. Next one. And more to be done. If the poor cannot come to education, education must reach them. At the plow, in the factory, everywhere. This is what Swami Vivekananda said. With the CKE, we must integrate quality and inclusive education opportunities for all aspiring youth and anyone who wishes to learn further. Such education should be vertically integrated to provide opportunities for everyone who is competent and aspires to study further. Slogan: place no bar, age no bar, time no bar, and offer quality education for all, independent geography. That is the kind of concept. Next one. The only irreplaceable capital of an organization possesses is knowledge and the ability of its people. The productivity of that corporate capital depends on how effectively people share their competence with those who can use it. This is what Andrew Carnegie said in the 19th century. Next slide. Into the future. So, re-engineering the engineering education. Re-engineering the engineering education. We should develop many tools for 4 or 5 courses, each carrying a diploma, core diploma programs in science, MPC, humanities, engineering sciences, computer and computational sciences, other areas, IT, software engineering, agriculture, health, commerce, etc. Students may choose 3 diplomas in internship, get an associate degree, 4 more plus get a BTech degree. After associate degree, branch off into other areas like healthcare, wellness, mass media, etc. Teachers using concurrent proficiency certification diploma programs. Students may adopt blended learning models, formats, aim. To liberate higher education, it is teachers and students from the suffocation of updating university and bureaucracy. This should go. Next slide.
Sir, may I interrupt, sir? Sir, you have 5 minutes only. Then you come.
Okay. I'm just continuing slide. Few slides only, one more slide only. We are finishing. Next one. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide is not coming. Madam. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wait. Yes.
Oh, it's stuck. Hello. Another 2 or 3 slides. Finish up. Go back. Because this this is a separate model by itself. So I just wanted to next previous slide, please. Previous slide. Seriously. So this is what I think we said about liberal education and content from the subject of the universities. Next slide, we talk about NEP policies, which I think been addressed by Bangladesh Mittal and others earlier also. So let us go to the next slide, please. Let us pass on. With the salient features we talk about, 2040 new education system will be in place. Changes childcare to higher education, teacher inclusive education, research in the school education. There's also talked about current IGS issues, higher education institutions, social institutional research and consolidation, ODLM learning institutional autonomy, multidisciplinary education for 21st century, flexible curricular internships. This is what we talked earlier. Flexible multi-entry exit degree programs. This is what we said, longer flexibilization of longer cycles, global translation at home, motivated, energized, and capable faculty, teacher education, multidisciplinary program, 4 to year BL programs, and a lot of sections taken by higher education institutions. Next one. We can go fast in that because this slide is available. You can circulate it to people. Next slide. So major thing is not the policy, but about implementation. So a lot of measures have been taken by the government and AICT and others to see how it can be implemented as fast as possible. Next slide. School education we are not talking about here. So I think what we need in higher education system is deliver high quality, equity, and inclusive higher education. This is what I think talk about. There are a lot of things have been covered earlier. I'm not going to cover this slide, which is in the policy. Next slide. So flexible multi-exit, that means exit entry programs can be different. So ABC, MRO, NRF creation and all that happened already. So we are trying to see how best flexibility you can make so that people can come at any level, go at any level. Next level, next slide. So teacher education truly a multidisciplinary program. So it's a part of B.Ed, elevating the B.Ed program to 4 to 1. Next slide. The Port and Higher Education Commission in India, I think which has already been restructured, UGC has been restructured, are supposed to be restructured. Next slide. Now all my modernization efforts, which I structured in government, I failed in one, that is UGC. Because it's difficult to reform the education administration and governance services in the country. But we learned lesson. Now we know what are the measures to be taken. I think they will be implemented now. The new policy is coming to home. Next level. The Indian language programs, I think very, very important about various languages, like the translation, transliteration process. I think a lot of things happen. New institutions have been set up for this. Technology use and integration technology in education technologies, NETF, National Education Technology Forum, that we covered earlier. Next one. So reorientation of PhD programs, I think very, very important area where we want to concentrate on research, really quality research and applied research. And pure research and applied research are bifurcated so that we also want to concentrate pure research as well as applied research, which is going to be beneficial to the country at large. Next level, next program. So by 2040, that's what is being aimed at, but maybe possibly we achieve whatever is being aimed at, and if government supports, will be and higher education institutions cooperate, we can do the job. It's not impossible. Next slide, next slide. Next slide, please. So Indians who are done us proud. You just see the kind of thing where we have a lot of Indians who are made proud in the world. Next slide. Indians who do us proud, they're all younger generation people who are at the university level. I think they are going to do us proud. I think we can grow that, we can grow that to be the globally employable, globally achievable youngsters. Next slide. So Mera Bharat Mahan, quality skills development to empower the billion. I think this is what Abdul Kalam said. This is one of the slides taken from Abdul Kalam's presentation. So Mera Bharat Mahan, quality skills development to empower the billion. Next slide. So what we are trying to propose or maybe Build India campaign. India can excel in education and education services. Let's all work together to make this India pride and shine. Next slide. So I like to this acknowledgement slide. Next slide you can go. So let me thank you for giving me a chance, and mostly I think I am within my time limit. Thank you very much for giving me a chance and share my views and my work area.
Thank you.
Next
Thank you,
slide.
Professor.
Next slide is
Thank you, Professor Dr. K. Subramaniam, sir, for your valuable information regarding NEP 2020 and beyond. Thank you very much, sir. Participants, if you have any question regarding NEP 2020 and beyond, then you can ask freely to sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Dr. Vijay Kumar Sinha from Chitkara University. So I want to ask one question in context of NEP 2020. Sir, as IGNU, that we seen 20 years back that were flourishing and people were students enrolling in mass, in bulk. But now nowadays, so it's losing its popularity. So what are the new role in the context of NEP of the IGNU organization?
anyway. I am not in IGNU right now, but I can tell you that IGNU has lost its prestige to some extent because one, I think curriculum development and curriculum currency. The next is employability. If I am in the entry board, I'll give business learners a different kind of capacity than regular learners. I think this is the gap between the regular learning programs as well as distance learning programs is to be reduced. Maybe distance learning programs are good. I'm not saying that. Curriculum is very good. It is done by experts. But delivery systems, management of delivery systems is very important area. Where then evaluation assessment systems, very, very important area. And we need a currency of curriculum. See, they can't introduce a new course. It takes more time. See, I introduced 21 courses on master's level in engineering, physical ed program with institutional support, not in but outside. And once vice chancellors changed, everything came to halt. That's why I left. So the problem is how to make the kind of things. Open learning, open university doesn't mean only distance learning. There's a mistake people have understood. But open learning system means any kind of learning system has to be integrated into the curriculum and to be developed, delivered, managed, and experts to be developed. See, I think this is exactly the kind of management MBS you say. These are for working people. MBS are provided. But working people is okay. But new employment doesn't work. Because I will not employ them. I will go for a university MBA person than MBA person. Because our own inference is that maybe possibly the quality education is not imparted well. But maybe curriculum is very good. I'm not saying that. But really, I think one is every university. I'm in the academic council of some of the universities too today also as a UGC nominee. But I found that curriculum change is very difficult to make because currency technology is changing quite fast. Need is changing quite fast. The curriculum has to. There's no point in opening new development of AI, new department of AI. What will happen to the electronics communication department or computer science department? So AI department will have a lot of people coming, and the computer science people nobody will come. The same thing happened to civil engineering, right? So I think what we need is a kind of cross-cultural integration in the university system to happen. I think this is needs a kind of reform, and which if government wants to do it, it can do it. But it is one of the two systems of money. That's why government of India thought that we'll have a open virtual university and use the in-group system, delivery systems, and other curriculum content systems of IITs. We'll see that the kind of virtual university concept came up, and it got worked up. I was a member of the committee, nominator, but really it didn't take up because the person who was in charge in IIT Kanpur wanted to look for a retirement job. Finish. So he didn't do anything for 3-year term. 3 years the committee was held. Under course, government of India gave. Nothing happened. So I think we need to see how to make it in India is a very difficult. But now I think at least NEP has come and government is going to continue. We'll do the implementation of NEP 2020 to the extent possible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I'm very open because I can tell something now. As a part of IGNU, I can't tell you. earlier.
Thank you, Sinha sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the information. Sir, I have one question regarding what are the you told in the PPT that there is 3 dimensions of quality of education.
Yes.
What does it mean, 3 dimension? What is the requirement of 3-dimensional education in NEP 2020?
See, the problem is this is a 3-dimensional concept has to be implemented in delivering and implementing program of NEP. Because it has been visualized. The report has been prepared. Now, how will you implement the report? How will you make it happen is a question. So the 3 dimensions of the quality system of education has to be integrated to the NEP policy implementation. I think this is what exactly the government wants, but really difficult to do, but it takes time. It takes experts to work together. It takes institutions to come together. It has to be deliverable. It has to be measurable. The output of the content-based outcome is to come. Outcome-based education is to come up. I think there's a lot of things are going to happen. It will happen shortly. You just see. Because the need is driven. Global demand is driving India to change. And it will make the universities to be global. That's what happens.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the information of the 3-dimensional. I have learned from the PPT so many things regarding NEP 2020 and beyond. So anybody participant who have asked a question like this NEP 2020?
See, what I can suggest you, NEP 2020 implementation is we separate the module by lecture itself.
Yes, sir.
So there is a 1-hour program lecture. So I just gave a glimpse of that whole thing in a few slides. Because of course you can call Pankaj Mittal, maybe he'll be in a position to deliver also. Because that's I think it's not about concept. It's about implementation. It's about collaboration. It's about cooperation. It's about measurable qualities and about standardization. I think these are the kind of things where we lack and we'll do it. Definitely, we'll just see in a few years to come, India will be the education lab of the world.
Sir, okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, actually, this type of sessions required all of us because nowadays NEP 2020 make a major role in the educational institute and anywhere. So whenever we require like this session, we'll invite you, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining the session.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity, but maybe possibly I have too short a time to
Yes.
share the whole concept of what has been visualized over a period of time. But implementing a policy is going to be a challenge. And that's what the challenge we are facing right now. And we will do it. And it has to constantly improve the policy also. Because the policy 2020, 20 years has been planned for implementation. By the time the whole world will change. So India will change. So the need will change. So we have to make the students to be employable. How will you make the curriculum? You have to make curriculum and evaluation assessment system and graduating students.
Okay, sir. Sir,
Thank you very much, sir. Subramaniam, sir, for a great session. Lot of learning for us. Though we are implementing, we are trying to, incorporate every feature of NEP 2020. But this was very, very informative. And we have got certain comments of thanks as well in the chat box. So there are few queries, but I think, like you said, there's a paucity of time, so we are not able to take all the questions. But definitely, we will take the questions offline from all the participants and we'll share it with you.
Yeah, but otherwise it is answerable by me.
Yeah.
I'll try to do it by mail.
Right.
Otherwise, last session we can have a